Hi, this is Curt, and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
Okay, let's go back to my favorite issue ever. And this is just a Freedom of Information Act where this comes back to us. We're going back to San Jose to the Pink Poodle strip club. I swear to God,
it won't go away.
It won't go away. And I really want to go to San Jose and just take a picture of the front of the Pink Poodle strip club. So all we have now, the continued saga, is the newspaper under the under a Freedom of Information request wants the disciplinary records, et cetera. And I don't know the law in California, but they've sued under California's FOIL or FOIA Act, as well as others, and they want the documents, and they want disciplinary records and investigatory material, most of which, by the way, at least under the federal and state of New York, but the federal law would not be discoverable. Investigatory materials that didn't result in discipline and blah, blah, blah may very well not be discoverable. So, but that's where we are. And it's basically a freedom of information request. There is a slow trend. New York, I don't think was the first, but New York, when Cuomo was governor, so about 4 years ago, removed the privacy of paid firefighters and paid police officers' disciplinary records. They opened it up, and so now the public can get the disciplinary history, which is a horrible decision on New York State's part. It's led to a ton of litigation, and right, because you're saying, oh, that cop who arrested me had this much discipline and this file, he was incompetent, whatever. That's what they try to avoid. It's just unrelated stuff to these criminal actions. And that's why a lot of states don't release disciplinary records. Here, they're claiming the disciplinary records are subject to FOIL. But here we also might have lack of disciplinary records, right? Now, the fire department, they were coming out, heads are going to roll if we find out this and that. And then they determine, okay, well, there's an excuse. And then they look at the GPS records. Wait a minute, they're stopping. I mean, it keeps going back and forth. But in short, this is just a FOIL request for investigatory records. So this will never go away.
Yeah, there's a balancing, and you're right. In the defund the police movement and Black Lives Matter movement, there's been a conscious effort to remove a lot of the protections that police and fire have, particularly police, but sometimes we get grouped in with them as well. But in terms of disciplinary records, and so we're lumped in, and unfortunately, in many states, they've been protections have been eroded. Now, the public records laws typically say everything is a public record, with the following exceptions, and then it has a listing of exceptions, and discipline records and different things are. But it's the way it's usually interpreted. I don't know about California, but the way it's typically interpreted is literally it's item by item, line by line. It's not a blanket exemption that this entire document, even an EMS patient care report, it's not that you don't have to produce the document, but you can redact, like, for example, the person's name. You can redact their address. You can redact their social security number. Maybe you can redact some medically protected information that's in there. Maybe you can redact almost everything that is printed, okay, but you still have to produce the form. And I think it can be the same thing here with regard to discipline, that you can maybe redact the name, you can maybe redact some of the information, but you still may have to produce the form. Now, maybe different in California. Can't speak to California law, but I know as an attorney for my clients, when we get a Freedom of Information request, we have myself or an attorney will go through the item line by line, and for everything we redact, we have to state this is redacted pursuant to Rhode Island general laws, yada, yada, yada. Right. You can't just say we're not going to produce the document. So.
Okay, well, we're going to see.